Greetings to you, viewers. Welcome to another edition here on After Decade. I'm your host, Martin, and today my guests are fired up. We are going to look at the youth and politics in Namibia. If you look at the leadership today, if you look at how the leaders are carrying themselves, one would wonder as to whom they are speaking to. Lately, we have seen the youth standing up in Namibia, rather than back in the days where the youth were so scared to speak up, or they were so scared to go into the masses and march or demonstrate, for example. Now, today we are going to look at the youth and politics in Namibia. And our guests for today, Frans Moyo and Kandilu. Frans, they are all youth activists from Rundu, that is in the Kavango East region. We have been eyeing on them, we have been seeing what they have been doing so far, and also their participation in politics. Now, if you look back in the days, young people or either the youth, they were so scared to participate in politics. Even at the polling stations back in the days, you would only see a number of elders, the elderly and old people, those that were, participating in this type of activities. Now, just to introduce ourselves, let me start with Kandilu Frans. When people look at you and the nation at large, now who is Frans Kandilu?
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin, for After Decade Media. I would like to start by saying Frans Kandilu is who God says he is, and Frans Kandilu does what God says he can do.
Yeah.
By profession, I'm a teacher, and then outside my professional work, I do offer leadership and management training, as well as corporate training. I also offer mentorship to young people.
Yeah.
And then this year, or this May, I have managed to even publish my book, and therefore would like to certify myself as an author. I will make some time to come and talk about this book,
Yeah.
which is titled A Job as Work, subtitled as A Practical Guide to Personal and Organizational Productivity.
Wow.
Right, the book is right there, but today is not for the book.
Awesome.
So we look forward to interact today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And our guest again for today is none other than Frans Moyo, a young, vibrant leader of this region. And I've been eyeing you mainly on social media. Also, when young people are frustrated out there, you are always there to assist them. Now, who is Moyo Frans?
Thank you very much, Martin. Frans Moyo. Frans Moyo is just a local guy, a local man.
Yeah.
Qualified to be a man now, no more a boy.
Yeah.
I'm an activist, community and youth activist, inspired to be a businessman one day. We are still trying, but I can't say I'm a businessman.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's good to hear.
Yes, in short, that's me.
What are you? Are you a local community activist, or you are at the national level?
Okay, I think when it comes to the international, it all has to do with how far you get. You can be based local, but how far, how relevant is your message? To whom is it getting?
Yeah.
I think in that line of activism, that plays a role. Yes, I will say I'm local.
Okay.
At the same time, at least communicating at the level of not only regional, but reaching some different parts of the regions within our country.
Yeah.
I will say I'm national.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kandilu, you are a teacher, and your profession somehow you are loaded with a lot of work. What motivated you to join activism?
I would like to say activism is not something recent.
Yeah.
It is something that can be backdated millions of years ago. because through activism one is able to speak on behalf of those who cannot speak. So through activism one is able to speak for those who are shattered, for those who are molested, for those who are oppressed. And through activism is through it is an avenue through which one is able to serve the public. So as for me, I take servanthood as because we can't exist without others.
Yeah.
We simply exist for each other, and one or two people should be there for the other.
Awesome, awesome.
Yes.
Our discussion for today, we are going to look at the youth and politics in Namibia as well in the Kavango East region. Let us look at the formation of political parties. 34 years now into democracy. People are still crying, people are protesting, and you look at the living standard, everyone is talking about it. What does that speak to you, the formation of political parties?
Okay. Let me start by saying, number one, living in a democratic country, we should understand the whole word democracy.
Yeah.
Democracy gives us all the platform. As long as
just put it in a layman's language. What is democracy?
Let me just say, democracy is freedom for all. Yeah. In that way, I will say democracy allows you to express yourself without being limited by anybody. Allows me to express myself without being limited by anybody.
Yeah.
Provided that I'm within the line of respecting another person's right. So that in short, that will be democracy. And with that, I would then say for everyone is free to actually affiliate with any group of people, any group of political party.
Yeah.
So therefore it would then be fair to let everyone fly as they wish. You understand? With the feathers that they have, they can fly anywhere. Coming back to your question, we do have bodies that are working and bodies are not working. Because you mentioned the part of demonstrations and what so on.
Yeah.
So that is simply a way that people are demonstrating that there are people somewhere who are not fulfilling their duties. Now, these duties could be governmental.
Yeah.
These duties could be private. So I would then say they are within their rights.
Okay.
They are within their rights. Yeah.
Mr. Kandilu, your take on this?
Starting with the formations of political parties and democracy. I would say democracy is a system which allows individuals to decide to elect their representatives.
Yeah.
Or in other words, democracy permits people to have a say on who should represent their interest. And democracy has also a way to allow the same people to decide to put a stop on those that are representing them and elect new people. So in other words, democracy is a system which have us exist as human beings, because as human beings we are beings of creation.
Yeah.
And we are people who should bring things to existence. That is something that God has ordained us with. So democracy gives us the room to put that to work. Yeah, so the formation of political parties in Namibia, there is nothing wrong.
Yeah.
It is a part of democracy, or a part of the system that we are talking about, which is democracy. We cannot have one political party, but we should have as many political parties as possible, because that allows people to be part of whichever political party or that they wish to have or to be part of. And it also allows them to be able to make sure that they raise their ideas through these political parties, because political parties are simply avenues through which people can serve others.
Wow,
Yes.
awesome. What is politics? Let me start with Moyo. What is politics?
Wow. That's one question that comes with a trick kind of, in short.
Yeah.
I will then define it in a way to say politics allows you to, number one, to choose who you wish to be in front of you. Either you choose to be the one who wants to lead.
Okay.
And it's a platform that is used, of course, to show others of what is not being shown by any leader. Like he mentioned, of different political parties being formed under democracy.
Yeah.
So that means people have got now a choice to definitely pick who they want. And through that, being involved in it, you should definitely see to it that you definitely do what people want. Yeah, so I will define it in such.
Kandilu.
Politics. Politics, some people say it's a game, a dirty game, and what have you. But then personally, I would look at politics as service.
Yeah.
Politics is service. Just like any other profession or like any other outlet that through which people can lead others, politics is just another branch of where people should serve others at a certain level. But then when we talk about politics, we are talking about having to accommodate other people within or with whom you are going to compete in terms of ideas. So in politics, people compete with ideas.
Yeah.
When you put your idea on the table, another person brings their idea on the table, the best idea should be given a chance to be put to work or to be implemented.
Yeah.
So that in itself, we call it politics. Because politics is not a one-man show.
Yeah.
Politics is when you are allowing other people to bring their ideas on the table, a group of certain people look at it,
Yeah.
the best idea is taken, the best idea is implemented for the benefit of the people. So that is what politics is.
Joining us today is Moyo, together with Frans, Kandilu, and they are youth activists as well. They've been participating in terms of mainly, getting into the political affairs of this nation and as well for this region. I'm your host for today, Martin, and this is After Decade Media. Let's quickly go for a commercial break and don't go anywhere. When we return, we continue.
The Kavango region is one of the regions that is very diverse in their cultures, norms, and traditions. That is why when I travel to one of its towns in Rundu, I always look forward to a place that gets me closer to these elements. A place closer to the CBD that makes it easy for me to explore and view the diverse economic activities and also be part of it. A place that allows me to relax and focus on work at the same time. A place with a beautiful African cuisines and more that are unique than others. A place that has a restaurant that I can afford to have a drink in. A place that has a name that is so traditional that it speaks to the value and quality of the Kavango region. A place that has people that are very, very welcoming and also helpful. That is why every time when I travel to the Rundu town in Kavango, I always book in Unkurungu, because here I feel at home.
Welcome back. This is After Decade Media, and today we are talking about politics, or either the youth and politics, and the youth in politics. My guest, I've been eyeing on them for quite some time now, and it's very, very interesting that We have young people who, have the heart of people and other, it symbolizes nationalism. Now, tunavoruka kenguru rango lisine politika sninke mke dhani munavuru ngoli kavura kakutongo nonangoli na mwenu asi ai anwe bantu mke dhani vinke vyavuliro kumkorangeta dogoro mkavure kwa kuhamitira mu upolitika ndi asi activist. When wali tuyendengo tukakenge sine the formation of political parties. Is it in the interest of people? Looking at the mother party, we have the mother party and other parties, those that were formed before independence. Now, lately you see everyone, once maybe, they are not happy, they either go and form other political parties or they come out as independent. Is this in the interest of people? Let me start with Mr. Kandilu.
Thank you very much for the question again. As I said earlier, politics has to do with people.
Yeah.
Politics has to do with ideas. Politics has to do with serving the same people.
Mm-hmm.
So if one person decides to join a certain political party or a certain formation, that person should have looked at what is this group or what is this party aim.
Yeah.
What are the clarion call of this particular party? Does it speak to your interest? Does it speak to your principles? So if it does, then you should be part of it. Because constitutionally, we are permitted to join any political party, or we are permitted to form any political party, but then it should be in the interest of influencing the policies of government. So if that specific or particular political party's principles are the ones that came out to you, that they are able to speak to the interest of the people, then you are good to join.
Awesome.
And that is it.
Awesome. Moyo, your take on this? The
Yes.
formation of political parties, is it in the interest of people?
I will say yes, it is in the interest of the people. You have got a choice
Yeah.
of belonging to where you want to belong. And of course, what you look at it in all, what you look for or what you wish to do.
Yeah.
Is it within the party you are joining or the party you have joined? Sometimes policies needs to be adjusted. And you could be that you are one of those who wishes to see policies done or being amended in a certain way. And you see that there is somebody speaking of how they plan to change them.
Yeah.
And you are not pleased with how they are currently. Most definitely, you are free to fly to any of your choice. Yes.
But then what are some of the reasons now people are forming these parties?
Okay. The reasons are, it could be, I don't want to speak for others, but I would then be in a space of assuming at some point.
Yeah.
Everyone wants change. We can start on that. People want things done different. And in the same vein,
Yeah.
there are those who feel they have spoken to an extent
Yeah.
and they haven't seen things done as they want and wish to. And what do? They then stand to be differ with somebody, whoever they have affiliated with.
Yeah.
Yet that brings us back to the point of the first question, one of the first questions about democracy. Meaning, you can then stand to also influence people who could be thinking like you, and then yes, that could be some of the reasons of why people are forming up parties. It's just to bring up a difference.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, let us look at youth participation in politics. back in the days, you would only, the youth were not really interested in politics, and somewhere, somehow, they were also scared once things were happening to come and speak out. Due to, maybe apparently some of them would say they were being threatened. Yeah, kuraba kuhaijekere pamdi navinche ya vinyangoli. Obyokutundangoli following up on what people are saying on social media mainly. Now, before independence, black people were oppressed, Namibians were oppressed, and we lost, a lot of young people, both the elderly and the youth. Now, and also the system somewhere, somehow threatened them. Now you can tell that, things have changed. Things have changed, youth. The youth is standing up. Young people are standing up. They are trying to, always speak and approach the elders in both angles. Why is it important for young people or either the youth to participate in politics? Mr. Kandilu.
Why is it important for the youth or young people to participate in politics? It is quite simple. Every honest and conscious young person should be able to know that the future should be constructed the day when you decide that I need to be part of it. So when you decide that I want to be at this point tomorrow, it means you need to be part of it or part of the process today. Because otherwise you'll keep on becoming an spectator, looking at how others are crafting your future without your involvement. So young people participating in politics is the way to go. Because if you look at the years that have gone in the past, say before independence, our leaders, our elders who fought for what we are enjoying today were not old. They were young people. So if they were not part of that fight, we could never have what we have today. So as a young person, if you still wait that tomorrow perhaps is the best day for you to start or join politics, then you are simply betraying the future of those that will come after you. So the right time to start or to be part of the process is now, so that you are able to create the kind of space that you would want to live tomorrow, including those that look up to you to create. We have siblings, we have young people in our houses. These young people, we look at them, we should not look at simple people that are just there, but we should look at people that expect something from us, who are a little bit bigger, who have the opportunity or the ability to start creating something for them tomorrow.
Moyo, wali mulio mke wa karomo muva nanchoka valihamitire mu politika.
Shakuhovera you every change. Every change starts with a step. And the future is driven by those existing now. We can't wait for tomorrow, then start the future.
Okay.
So who are the future then? The very same people who are currently in existence now. They are the ones to take over the future. Why is it important for a young person to be involved? I like looking at it in this way. What I'm fighting today should benefit who's coming after me.
But is that the case in Namibia? You mentioned something very interesting, that young people have to, that those that fought for independence, or either Namibia's independence, they were once, in the youth or in their early youth ages when they were, fighting. But now you look at, the leadership, some of them, they are in their 80s, 90s, and they still want to occupy these offices. How does this motivate? Because now the leadership is saying that the youth is the leader of tomorrow, but now they are still in their 80s. They are still occupying offices.
I will go on that a bit.
Mm.
The question will still come. How are we ready, are we, to take over from the old people?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because now that has to now do, are we ready? Are we prepared? How many of the young people that are actually are ready to take over? Do you get it?
Yeah, if we can just switch off this mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. How many young people are ready to take over?
Yeah.
And that's where you brought in the question of saying, why is it important for young people? You understand?
Yeah.
Now, if we are not involved, young people, I mean older people or the old generations who are in leading positions now,
Yeah.
they are watching us. How close are we to them? And that then brings us to a point as why would Kandilu be interested into politics?
Yeah.
And why would I be interested into politics? Because we have to be groomed at some point. Yeah. Yes, we have those questions.
Yeah.
They always say a spectator is always the best player. You know,
Yeah.
he was supposed to kick like this, and then he was supposed to use the left, then he used the right. You see now, he didn't score. That is from the outside.
Yeah.
How are we ready? Did we exercise before we had to be in a pitch for us to play the real game? Yeah, so what I would say is, I would then encourage more of the young people to be part of politics, because the elders are looking at us. Can they give us? Are we ready? So they would rather stick to it while preparing us.
Kandilu, are the youth ready to take over from the elders?
Yes, thank you very much for the question. Answer the question whether the youth are ready or not. I would ask a rhetorical question of saying, those that have been in the space of politics, did they prepare the youth enough for them to take over? Because it has to take an intentional act. If you think, or if you are aware that when the day follows the night, you are getting old, it simply means you should bring somebody closer to say, when I'm gone, this person should be ready to take over. How much of that did the elders do to prepare the young people to take over?
Yeah.
Because it is not enough to say whether we are ready or not. And to amplify to that, I would like to say, being ready for service, it starts from your own house. What you do in the house, what you do in your locality, in your street, in your location, in your town, in the region, how much are you doing for you to demonstrate that you are actually ready to take up a huge responsibility which has to do with national interest? So if you have never stepped up to exercise, to come out and play, don't think you'll ever be ready. Because if you think an elder who's there who has been leading you, whether the elder has been leading well or not, and you are just here seated, and then tomorrow all of a sudden you want to stand up to go and take over, you are going to collapse the nation. So it is all about a question of asking, how much did the elders prepare young people for them to leave the responsibility with them when they are gone? And how much are the young people doing within their space? Because leadership does not require you to have a position first. Leadership is something that you do every day. The service that you are offering to the immediate person every day, that is leadership. So that does not have a position as a prerequisite. So whatever you do every day, that is leadership. And as the day goes on, you are going to grow into that, and tomorrow you'll be able to take up huge responsibility.
Young people lately are complaining about the state of affairs, mainly, in our country, where they are also resorting to then approach Michael Amshelelo, one of the activists, of course, in Namibia. What does that speak to you, Moyo?
Okay. I would say delayed of service pushes people for options.
Yeah.
That's the direct word for it. When people reach for an alternative, it could be that they have tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have tried. That also depending now on how they have tried, which roads did they take for them to get to that point. To reach to an extent where they go and reach our fellow young fighter, let me use that, it could be that they might have seen, of course, that the effectiveness of it, you understand?
Yeah.
I would call that is radical at some point.
Okay.
That means there is something that we need to work on to fix what is not right. Okay. Now, as a society, how much do we compliment when others are on a strike, for example?
Yeah.
When others are complaining, for example. I will use a practical example.
Yeah.
It's some three days back when OK Food staff went out of their strike.
Yeah, and also before we get there, you have been posting as well, the youth of Kavango region, where they are approaching you, inboxing you as anonymously or either anonymous, and you are always standing up to their complaints. How do you approach these problems when they are approaching you?
Of course, one, you have to understand the person coming to you.
Yeah.
And it will also give you a picture as to who that you need to get to. It also, and in most cases, I would say they come effective. The issues are being solved at some point. It all depends with the approach now you are taking to the next person who has to solve that problem. Yes, there are so many inboxes. Like at the current moment, I don't know. There are so many cases that needs to be solved, but one has to be patient. Yeah, you must be very patient. Number one, you are dealing with elders. The approach you are taking, are they appreciated? By that I mean respect. Yes, with the right approach, issues can be solved.
Before we go on a break, Kandilu, I'm sure young people have been approaching you with a lot of complaints from the region and at the national level. How do you approach, these complaints?
Thank you very much. When we talk about leadership, it is not only about accepting to represent those that feel oppressed or deny, without having to look at what it is that it has to do with it from the other side. In other words, leadership has to do with advising the same group of people that come to you with a complaint to tell them that, okay, your problem is understood, but if you take this route, this is what's going to happen. If you take this one, in other words, you are going to get to this point. So the same people need to figure out that, no, what we are about to do is wrong. Because you, as a representative, you should be able to see what they are unable to see, especially when they are angered with the situation troubling them. They might not be able to see the situation from different angles. But as a leader who's calm, a leader who's grounded, you should be able to direct these people correctly, because otherwise you might advise somebody who is able to buy bread today with the little they get from those that they think they are not giving them enough, and then tomorrow they are out and they will not be able to buy that bread that they were buying. So it is very important that we address them or direct them or guide them properly before they lose the little they have.
Awesome. Today I'm joined by Moyo together with Mr. Kandilu. They are all activists from Kavango East region or from the Kavango East region, and we are zooming and expanding into youth and politics, or either the participation of young people into politics. Back in the days, young people, participated in politics. You look at Kasinga massacre, you look at some of the events and activities, those that took place from different regions. And you will tell that young people were ones really, participating in politics itself. This is After Decade Media. I'm Martin, and for those that wants to book for an interview or either come for an interview, get to call 081 2140 and also other media-related services, definitely get to reach us. We go for a commercial break and we round off when we get to return.
The Kavango region is one of the regions that is very diverse in their cultures, norms, and traditions. That is why when I travel to one of its towns in Rundu, I always look forward to a place that gets me closer to these elements. A place closer to the CBD that makes it easy for me to explore and view the diverse economic activities and also be part of it. A place that allows me to relax and focus on work at the same time. A place with a beautiful African cuisines and more that are unique than others. A place that has a restaurant that I can afford to have a drink in. A place that has a name that is so traditional that it speaks to the value and quality of the Kavango region. A place that has people that are very, very welcoming and also helpful. That is why every time when I travel to the Rundu town in Kavango, I always book in Unkurungu, because here I feel at home.
Welcome back. This is After Decade Media, and I'm your host for today, Martin. Joining me today is Frans Moyo, together with Kandilu Frans. They are both activists of this region. And for those that wants to come for interviews or either book for interviews, get to email afterdecademedia@gmail.com or call 081 2140 If you want to market your business in these programs, definitely get to reach us, or into our breakfast edition, get to reach us. If you want to produce your jingle, produce your adverts, or either promote your work, definitely we are here, and we offer these services. And both our leaders, they've been leading, the Kavango East region and also at a national level. I've realized, you are both professionals into different fields, which is quite really, really good. Now, looking at the state of affairs, let's speak about development just for these few minutes. Development itself, where, the poor are always being relocated to spaces and places where there are no services, for example, and these still young people are complaining. Speaking of land, is an issue in Namibia, is an issue here in Kavango region. When young people are complaining about, being, not looked at actually in whether job creation into the art industry, for example, the youth ministry, for example, that is, as much as, yes, we do understand the ministries are trying, but are they doing enough for their people? Let me start with Kandilu.
Thank you very much for the concern presented. Answering the question as to whether they are doing enough in order to accommodate the needs of young people, as well as to create employment, I would say where there is a complaint, it simply means there is no sufficient supply of whatever is needed.
Yeah.
So if the youth voice out certain things that they need, or which is absent in their lives, those that are elected or those that are appointed to make sure that they fulfill that need, they need to use these very same youth as their ears and eyes
Yeah.
So it is very good when you live in a space where somebody speaks out about what is needed, and you seated at home comfortably with all the kind of resources a person would need, you should be able to take note that, okay, my children are crying because of this and that. I think as a leader, leading this ministry, leading this agency,
Yeah.
I need to do this and this so that I can satisfy the need that is absent in the lives of these ones that are complaining.
Yeah.
Otherwise, things are going to be fine if we take that route.
Are the youths mainly, encouraged to participate in policy making, for example? Are young people participating in policy decision making?
I would say yes. And the only thing that we now need is more youth to take part.
Okay.
Remember, the policies that you need or that we would need now, or that if there is anything that we want to be changed, it should be something that would work for us. So how do we want, it will not also be fair for only a small group to make a choice for others, because it should then be inclusive.
Yeah.
Now, more youth are encouraged to take part, and these policies can only be changed through politics, unfortunately.
Okay. No other.
No, let's not go around, but
Yeah.
it's politics.
Okay.
So where we started, that's where now we are again by saying, for us to be effective, we need to be part and parcel of everything that is happening now.
Kandilu, are young people participating, or either are they really welcomed in decision making, for example?
Being welcomed, there is an open platform that is usually created. But then we still go back to the point of young people thinking that tomorrow is their best day to start. So whenever opportunities come to them, through those community meetings where people are discussing things that affect our lives, things that have to decide whether we'll have a clinic or whether we'll have a school, young people think it is not their right time to be part of that calling. So that is an opportunity given to us or presented to us so that we can view or air our concerns and our opinions and all that, because there are people that have to go and sit and look at what we say at those platforms. But then if we don't make it to that point, then it becomes a problem. It's like a young person complaining the kind of leaders leading them. After all, you haven't even made it to the polls when election came. So it's the same thing. Otherwise, opportunity of changing policies is always there. Yeah. And local radios and local medias are also there, because these are the ones that magnify every idea that is coming from individuals to be heard by the whole nation. And that in itself is a policy creation platform as well.
Now, if you listen to different, radio platforms, for example, and social media, one will say that a lot of things that are going on is about complaints. Young people, the elderly, some of them have been living in the country for 30 years and they are not documented. As much as we understand that, like now there's a platform that they were given to go and acquire all these, national identity cards, and some people are trying to, relate it to, because it's an election year and all these kind of things. You look at, there's a lot of things that are kind of in a mess. The prices of food are increasing, not in a mess, but not in order. Or if not in order, then things are just not okay, are not going well for us. The prices of food are increasing every day. Look at the electricity tariff, for example. Look at poverty. Look at agriculture. Where we are standing today, where we are sitting today in this region, we have enough land, we have enough water. Yet we are not, able to produce food for the masses for ourselves, for example. One would then question, you look at abuse from both angles, GBV, you look at crime, you look at, divorce, rape, everything is just questionable. And then we have all these political parties that are, are running for offices, and yet we have everything that is not in order. What is your take on that?
Well, excuse me. Let me start with the point of identity documents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, almost everything in Namibia has been
Politicized.
been politicized.
Mm.
Almost everything.
Yeah.
But in the end, still, yes, it's politicians that makes decisions. I will say it's a good initiative for me, personally, my personal opinion. We have had elders who have lived here, coming from our neighboring countries, and they've been here some have been here more than 40 years. And in a simple term, there is a certain period of time one requires to qualify for citizenship of any country, wherever you are coming from.
Yeah.
And I would say this just happened to be the right time, be it elections or not. But then I think we should look into a positive way of it, and which I would recommend whoever who is out there still thinking of it, don't focus on the political part. Just go and get your documents now. Crime. Crime is a collective thing to solve. One collective problem to solve. Where you are fighting it, there is someone encouraging it. But how do we dominate? Definitely platforms like this helps us dominate such activities. If we are to come together as neighbors, then we are able of looking after our environment. By doing so, we can expand to, let's say, to a town level with ideas that we can present. Sometimes we could be thinking, no, we have police. Police are there to do their job. But are police everywhere? That's the question. So how do we then assist these police to get to places that they should get where specific crime is to be solved? So let me just say, we just need to start from neighborhood watch thing, and then we can get to a bigger level of it. That would be my opinion on that.
In 30 seconds, your comment on that, Mr. Kandilu.
Yes, politics, as I said, is a contestation of ideas, where the best idea should be given a chance to be implemented. So it doesn't matter the time, but the time will then matter to a person who has been played always. So if, for instance, whenever you expect an increment in a pay or in salary, it is when the time of deciding which leader should take us forth. Then you, as a person who's being played, should then know that, okay, if this is the case, then it happened the first time, it happened the second time. This time is fine, I'll benefit the service that is being provided, but I know what I'm going to do next. Because it is democracy. And you are given the liberty to decide which leader should lead you or not.
Okay.
So in terms of crime and all other social ills, it always has to do with something that is not being done. Unless the leaders have to go back on the drawing table and then they decide on what is it that not being attended to, which is creating these kind of things.
Now, let's come back to the region. We are in Kavango. Back then it was just one region. Now we have It's divided now, Kavango into Kavango East and West. Let me just date it back then, the contribution of Kavango to Namibia's independence. This is one of the discussion that we had. And also, there's a lot of, sometimes, Kavangos are being called, there's one statement that I don't want to say now, but it's kind of questionable where, we have the river here, we have enough land here, yet we are unable, to provide for ourselves. What do you think can be done to change the status quo?
That goes to me.
Yeah.
Yes. We get at certain points, sometimes we become too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Us becoming too comfortable sometimes puts us in a position of where we expect everything done on our behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, with that, gives us no solutions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is it that you are doing to at least for someone to see you are trying? I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
If you are to go to DBN now, for example, you alone,
Yeah.
and you want a loan, there is a high chance that it will be declined. Very high chance.
Okay.
But if we go 5 of us, we present an idea and we are 5 or 10 of us with a good drafted plan,
Yeah.
and we go to DBN, there is a high chance that we get that. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So how are we working together to get things done? Are we united, number one?
Okay.
Yeah. Are we first united? Or we will start to a certain point, then you and I, we are no longer talking.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't achieve. Yes, we have got the river here. Eh?
Yeah.
If you go alongside the river, we start here in town, just by you moving Juneiro down
Yeah.
to the end. Guess what you'll see on the sides of the road? It's people having fun, right?
Yeah.
Go alongside the river. Tell me how many people you find there cultivating tomatoes or onions and so on. That water doesn't need a bill. It just needs you.
Yeah.
Do you get it? It just needs you. And the land, there's no excuse.
And workforce.
Yes, and workforce. But the very same person you find having fun now, tomorrow will tell you the government is not doing enough for us. Do you understand?
Yes.
I do not work myself. I don't have a salary.
Yeah.
But I try by all means to provide for those that needs my assistance. And at the same time to create a salary for 1 or 2 people. It didn't come from the government.
Yeah.
It started at a certain step, and it requires patience. And this, then in the end, it can become a reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, I will say the government needs to put more effort on assisting us,
Young people.
but mostly the young people.
Yeah.
That I will not skip. I will say the government should find ways on how they can assist young people. But most recently I checked, there is an ease when it comes to taxes now, going to be implemented.
Yeah.
And there is also an ease being discussed when it comes to loan acquiring for business purpose and so on. I believe that is the government trying to come to us.
Awesome.
Yes.
Mr. Kandilu, now young people are complaining about, not being given opportunities mainly to, for those that are having businesses. Collateral is a big issue among all, financial institutions when young people are going to, seek financial assistance. So, what do you think can be done? Can the government do in order to, meet the youth halfway?
What the government should do in order to meet the government or to meet young people halfway is simply to create an environment where young people's ideas are able to thrive. Because the existence of a government is in fact to create a platform, to create an opportunity, to create an environment where all these hostilities have no place to exist. So when a young person has an idea, the government should be able to look at the bigger picture of this idea. The biggest problem comes in when the government is able to provide funding, and after providing funding, they expect this young person who is not well prepared to work with these funds to produce miracles. Unfortunately, this is the same idea, or this is the same thing that the government will use against those that have good intentions to create businesses. In other words, they will use it as a reference to say, okay, last time we gave a young person A to start this, but unfortunately they did not go anywhere. The question is, was this person ready to start? Because the assessment should not only end where a person is either able or not able to pay back, but the assessment should be part of how this person is going to sustain him or this business, or how the accountability is going to be brought on the table. If this is well assessed, I don't think there is a young person with a good idea that will fail. How much is the support system? We should not give funds to try and see how this young person will fail. But we need to give funds to make sure that we provide the support throughout the process until we get to a point where the government will say, we are done with this one, let's start with another person.
Get to follow us on our social media pages by the name After Decade Media, and I'm sure there's somebody out there who is asking themselves, no, can you guys at least touch on the education system in Namibia? Definitely we'll have that discussion here on this platform. Now it is the election year, and what is your message to the Namibian out there regarding this year's election? Let me start with Moyo.
Well, all I can tell you is go and vote. Know what you are doing. And you should be in a position of making your own decision. As they always say, your vote is, what is the slogan? Okay, it's your secret. It being your secret, let it no longer be a secret in your choices, because the outcome should work for you. Mostly young people, let us not only complain. We are within a right space of complaining, but let us complain while doing something. Who is influencing what we are complaining about? And how much do we want to influence of what we are complaining about? So we should then be in a position of saying we are now on that table. We shouldn't be more of, it's them. Let them. It's them. You understand? And I'm glad as I sit in your studio today, I'm sitting with my namesake here, to say. Take an example. You understand? If you go on young people's phones, for example, today, now, the apps they are busy following, it has nothing to do with the news. They are not informed, most of them. And you will find most of them who will go through social media and only see headlines and they start commenting without the reading. what am I saying? I'm simply trying to say, let's go into details to be part of certain things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kandilu, your message to the Namibian people. This is now the year of the elections.
Yes, it is 2024. Our late president, may his giant soul rest in peace, Dr. Hage Geingob, has themed it as the year of expectation.
Yeah.
So it is a year that we have seen since the beginning that indeed we are being faced with a lot of expectations that have been revealing themselves before us. So it is something that we are working towards too. Come November 27, we should have a different government, and that has to do with the people that will go and vote, the kind of decision they'll make. It is again the opportunity that democracy presents to us, where after every 5 years Namibia votes, and it is after every 5 years where you need to renew the leadership that has been with your interest or without your interest. We shouldn't just say we are going to vote, but we should actually take note of what's happening. At present, we have announcements going on that by the 3rd of June, people will start registering for voters' card, which is a requirement for one to go and vote. So every young person, every elderly out there needs to make sure that they look at those dates between the 3rd of June up to the 1st of August. Everybody needs to acquire a new voters' card, because no voters' card will be used that has nothing to do with this year's production. So we are all going to have new voters' card. If you are really interested in playing your part in bringing the change that you wish to see, you need to go out there and register, get your voters' card, so that come the date or the day of election, you are able to play your part.
Thank you. There has been a mixed feeling about, a female candidacy, mainly in the presidency. So we're both young people, the Namibian nation, are busy there. You'd hear, people are talking. What is your take on this? Mainly, Namibia taking up the challenge of the female presidency. Mr. Kandilu.
Female presidency, male presidency, has nothing to do with competence. Competency has no attachment to gender. But then a human being is a human being. So I have nothing that I should hold reserved for a female president or for a male president. The question is the candidate competent enough to shoulder the responsibility of a nation such as Namibia, especially now that we have so many social ills and other ills that need to be fixed. Who is this candidate that is fit enough to take us from the bottom and help us rise beyond what we see today?
Moyo, your take on the female presidency in the upcoming election?
All I can tell you is that it's not a thing of based on a gender. It's on how the strategy has been set to save the country. And I will tell you that there was no mistake to that. There was no mistake to that step being taken. And if you remember back, it was always our late president's advocacy. May his soul rest in peace, the late Dr. Hage Geingob. He always wanted gender balance. If you check, he is one of the first president of the Republic of Namibia to have a very high number of females in parliament or in leadership, key positions. A mother always is a mother. There is a reason why we always run to a mother for anything we need. You understand? A mother listens. A mother looks at what you need.
Yeah.
And I would say this is that time we need to also check out.
Yeah.
Is she a caring mother? But how do we know? Is by giving her the platform, of course. You understand?
Yeah.
But if you know a love of a mother, you will then know that she is able. Age. The age. Do we have any younger president? Do we? Or candidate?
Yeah.
So let's age and gender. I don't think that should drive us.
Okay.
We must also look at who are the people moving with this person. You understand?
Yeah.
There are people moving with her, and these are capable people. She's capable,
Yeah.
and I'm quite sure that I see a positive impact. That's all I can tell you.
And getting now to our last part of the program for today, where we are looking at the participation of young people into politics, or the youth and politics in Namibia. Joining me today is Frans Kandilu, together with Moyo Frans. They are all youth activists from the Kavango East region, and they are joining us to unpack today's discussion. And they are also, business-minded individuals. Apart from, their chosen careers, they are still pushing the agenda of activism. They are still pushing, the agenda of business to cut off. Young people don't want to get into the business arena out there. He is an author, for example, and you own, is it a wholesale or a business, for example, that you are running, which is also, quite a good thing, involving yourself in as a business-minded individual. Let me start with Mr. Kandilu. You are an author. What do you look at as an author, like what you are doing now? Just briefly in 20 seconds.
I take a responsibility in documenting things that will be helpful to any age group. The books that I've decided to start writing fall under the categories of self-help. So you take this book, you look at the title, you study the content, you'll get something that will help you or guide you to get from point A to point B. So if all these kind of things that we talk about, sometimes we say it and they remain undocumented. So it's a step that I took, that I need to start documenting certain things which tomorrow, even when we are gone, somebody can still grab that copy of a book and go through and still get something, one or two things to help them move forward.
Awesome. Moyo, you are also in the space of media and business-minded individual. Please just share with us about the work that you do.
Number one, being a little bit into business, or being inspired into business, one is to encourage other fellow young people. That is not only by you applying a job application form that you can survive. It's also by the personal individuality of the steps that you take. And then, of course, our government wants us to create jobs. It's only by taking such steps. We need to wish for more, so that we are in a space of employing even for more. Yes, in the media, that it's not a full-time thing, but it's a partly thing, which I believe information is needed out there. Sometimes you might know something. If you keep it yourself, nobody will. But share it, then someone might think of it and twice, and then they make something out of that.
Mr. Kandilu, your message to the Namibian people.
A message to the Namibian people, everybody, every listener, everybody watching, is that a nation should be built with personal involvement.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot expect a thriving nation when you yourself, you are not playing your part.
Mm.
So every human being is created different,
Yeah.
so as our ideas are different from one another. But we need to find strength in complementing both our weaknesses as well as our strength, so that we are able to create something. If you are able to bring component A to the table, the next person bring component B,
Yeah.
and this is how we create a body that functions towards one common goal. So this should be the message from me. There is no time for young people to waste. The time we spend in the street should be minimized, so that we make more time in order to think about what is good to us and to those around us. Thank
Mr.
you.
Moyo, your message to the Namibian people.
Well, spend your time with the right people. That's all I can say. Spend your time with the right people. Impact your mind with positive thinking,
Yeah.
positive ideas. Be present where people are making decisions, where people are having meetings, be it business or leadership seminars. Be present. And that is you, building you.
Yeah.
So it's not by others making a decision for you. It's by you taking a step to make that decision. So let us all learn to come together and unite as Namibians. Let us not look at colors, ethnic groups, so to say, or political parties.
Yeah.
We must, when it comes to something we need to achieve sometimes, it should be a collective thing. So let us work together.
Awesome. Moyo Frans, thank you so much. Kandilu Frans, thank you so much for joining us today here on After Decade and After Decade Media, and also for replying to our calls, and for, you have a lot of responsibilities on top of your head, but you still managed and you made time to come and join us here today.
Thank you so much, Martin, for having me.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, this is After Decade Media, and I'm your host, Martin. Today, we had Mr. Kandilu Frans together with Mr. Moyo Frans, youth activist from the Kavango East region, and our discussion was about the youth and politics in Namibia, as well into the Kavango region, mainly in the Kavango East region. Get to follow us on After Decade Media, that is Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, and other platforms. And not forgetting, market your business, advertise your business with us. Until next time, cheers, cheers.